The following program may contain excessive, derogatory, creative mentions of sex, sexuality, perhaps on occasion have fracking coarse language, and cause adverse effects of laughter along with making you think. We may lie to tell the truth, to tell the truth, to tell a lie, for the lie to be exposed and the truth to finally be told. Viewer discretion is advised. Welcome everyone to a special edition of DDP Vradio, a very inspired person interview with author, speaker, and professional dancer, and one of Bell Media's face and speaker of Let's Talk campaign in the studio, talking about mental illness. And here is my interview with my good friend, AUDLEY COLEY. Check it out.
All of the mental health issues, I'm exhausted.
So, you know, we were just talking earlier, obviously, about the depression. So since the Bell Media thing, you're exhausted, you're saying?
Oh, yeah. I mean, everything since January to now has been nonstop. And you turn around and it's 7 months. And now I need a mental health break myself. Like, I need, but not just need, I'm going to take a mental health break. Because you have to know what you need for yourself, like anything else. And you're no good to anybody if you just keep going when you don't have the energy and to keep going. And as you notice what happened with we were just speaking about Prince, you know, one of my favorite and yours favorite artists, Michael Jackson, all these artists. I mean, when you look at them, they weigh, 129, 10 pounds, and they're doing X amount of shows. That's a lot of energy to be trying to get from any human being, and eventually, you know, you collapse. So,
and the other thing that I was wondering, like, you sold how many thousands of books now? You sold.
Well, my small success. Well, it's a great success because, you know, the book came out about 3 years ago, and the idea of the book, oddly enough, you can rise above mental illness, was a roadmap to give people different areas of where to go if they need help when it comes to dealing with mental health. As you will know, when people are dealing, a lot of times they think they're alone, and I'm here as living proof to say, no, you're not alone. There are a lot of us out there that are dealing, but now there's much more people speaking about it. Thank you, Bell Canada, for putting it out there with Bell Let's Talk, because there's much more people speaking about mental health and getting help. So we're saving lives.
Yeah.
So as I go ahead.
And you were saying that too, that you were like, you know, when you're exhausted, you get that call in the day when somebody's like, you know, in trouble, and you saved the life. You really did save lives.
Well, as I said, with power comes great responsibility, and it's like a superhero, Batman or Superman, because I grew up with all these superheroes in cartoon, right? Yeah, and sometimes Batman or Superman can't show up to save somebody or to a crime scene being tired. So you put on your best face, but you know, actually what really gets me going, I guess what picks me up is when, no matter how tired I am, when I go out and I know that I'm generally affecting someone, like I am saving somebody that would normally would not be with us. It empowers me. It gives me energy. Yeah. So you know, and I feel very honored that I'm there. That people can reach out to me. Like when Anthony, the chef.
The last name Anthony. Sorry.
Baudouin.
Yeah, was it?
I don't know this. No, you know, it's funny. I don't.
It's a celebrity chef.
But I don't know this gentleman per se. Mm-hmm. It's only when the radio station CKUT in Montreal called me. Stretch called me up, and he was distraught because it really hit him that this guy took his life, considering that in the camera's lens, he looked like everything was so wonderful. He had a successful show. He was making a lot of money. He had, you know, his family. But it's easy like myself and a lot of other people, being in show business, that's our job, is to put on a happy face.
Yeah.
You know, like in one of my favorite movies, all that jazz.
Yeah.
You know, Showtime, right?
Showtime.
It is, and a lot of us unfortunately don't know when it's time to take off the mask and come down. And unfortunately for us, as Anthony and that other celebrity that also took her life, the designer. See, I'm not really.
So sad though.
It is sad. It is sad, but I don't know these people, as I said, because I'm too busy with my own personal life. That it's only when somebody brings up these other celebrities, then I kind of go, oh, okay. Because even when Tupac died, I remember I was in the mental institution myself. So I was busy fighting my mental battles, so I didn't have time to really, get into Tupac and the going-ons at that time, because I was fighting my own demons.
Yeah.
But with that said, here I am in 2018. Last year, we had a couple of book launches at Indigo. I had a book launch here in Toronto, a different book on Bathurst Street.
Nice.
Which is so funny because when we came to Canada in 1968, we were living just up the road from the subway. And here I am, full circle, doing a book launch, and it worked out so well. It's been like my stocks have just risen. Book launches, and the big gig obviously was with Bell Canada.
Yeah.
And you and I have been interacting for the last year.
Yeah.
And you've been there for the journey.
Yeah.
And both of us have reasons to celebrate right now.
That's true.
Okay, so I just a little icing on the cake. I was also nominated for Harry Jerome Award here in Ontario.
Yeah.
And I will be starting in the fall to teach dance therapy, back to my dancing ways, in Montreal at Le Grand Ballet in Montreal. So I'm like, wow. Thank you, mental health. Well,
in some ways, okay, we were talking about this. Actually, it's funny you should say that. We were talking about it. But remember, we were talking about Care for the Soul with Thomas More.
Yeah.
And we were talking about how in Roman times, it was common for you to say, if you were depressed, to go be a child of Saturn. Go empty yourself.
No, yes.
To empty yourself. So in this respect, I'm asking you this: is it perhaps maybe that's what happens when you're mentally ill, or when you go through mental illness? Is that you actually empty yourself, and then better things come out? Could you speak to that a little bit?
Yeah, well, definitely, JP. Because what I like that term. I'm not familiar with that term too much. You brought it up to me, the emptying yourself.
Yeah.
But actually, when you hit the wall, like for me, when I was diagnosed with bipolar illness back in the 80s, it forces you to stop. So you can be going all high, energetic, so on and so forth. But when you stop, it gets you, like in art's term, when an artist reinvents himself.
Yeah.
Okay, but when you put the mental health issue in there, it becomes a whole different thing. But artists are not mental. I don't think a lot of artists even like to use the term mental or mentally ill. They like to use the term creative, free-spirited, different. What's the other one?
Disingenuous? No.
Yeah, no. There's one my ballet teacher used to use. Eccentric. Eccentric. Yes, eccentric. Yeah, and back in the days, the term I guess they would be using for mentally health that they use now very freely would be Renaissance. Oh, yeah.
So Renaissance.
Yeah, Renaissance. You see, artists always have ways to sugarcoat everything and make it seem so like you're not Renaissance. Oh, and then even mental health back in the days, it would be like, I'm feeling a little melancholy. No, yeah, that was depressed. But now it's like just depressed. It's like, ew. Like, would you rather be melancholy or depressed? And we didn't do medication like today. Not. It would be like a nice scotch, a good cigar, or whatever your choice was. You know, so, and for a lot of artists, that they would come out of that melancholy mode with probably their best creative ideas.
Yeah, and okay, this is the other thing too. This is my hypothesis about depression too, and I'd like to ask your opinion. I find that we find there's a prevalent more depression among artists for one reason. I was wondering whether or not it's because of the I gotta make it big, and because this whole thing about making it big, like the $10 million picture star type of thing, where that artist gets so depressed because they don't feel like they're artists if they don't get to that level.
Yeah.
Like, this is my hypothesis that the reason why there's such a prevalent mental illness going on, depression within artists. Do you speak to that?
Yeah, well, for sure, because what happens, first of all, most artists are overachievers and they're never satisfied. You go all the way back to the Mozart, you know, like they have a talent so young, and they're so used to writing symphony. Yeah, okay. How many people do you know that writes a symphony at 5 years old? You know, like Michael Jackson. You know, at 5 years old, they're big stars. So by the time they reach like 12, 16, they're like, they've done it all. It's like they can't challenge themselves. They're constantly finding challenges. Now, I'll use Michael Jackson as an example. How do you not feel satisfied after you outsell all of the records, the Beatles and everything, and you've done well? Some guys are just trying to get one hit. They're trying to get their record played on the radio. Now this guy blows it out of the park, and he's not happy. So obviously there's some mental issues happening there, which was not addressed. Yeah. You know, but the point, as I said, with a lot of artists, symphony orchestras and stuff like that, they're always working on a very thin edge, right? It's like this perfection, trying to obtain something sometimes really that you're not even sure. It's not even so much for the money, it's more for the art of, I outdid that. Well, if Mozart did this, I'm going to outdo Mozart. I'm going to outdo Beethoven. I'm going to sell more record than Elvis or so. So it's a lot of time it's competition within the art itself. So it's not so much the money, but with the competition and the success, it does bring the money.
Yeah.
Right, yeah. So, but a lot of times I don't think a true artist, when they go to be creative, that the money is the carrot.
Yeah, but do you think that there's a lack of education for the younger artists coming up? Because I find that the younger
the younger artists definitely. But the younger artists now it's like a quick fix, because because now you have to look at with all of the media, with all of this, do you think you can dance and all of this stuff here. A guy used to have to, you know, put his record together in his basement, go on tour, play bars. There's a lot of things that the older artists had to do to get so-called success. Now, a guy can go on television in front of a couple of judges, they sing a couple of songs, which is not theirs, and then the next thing you know, they get a record deal. So the quick fix and the instant success today is very different. It's not lasting, though. Because the way most people can't even remember who won, say, American Idol or one of these shows last year or a couple of years. Right. Unlike the other artists of yesteryears, because they paid their due. Yeah, you know, yeah.
Like they paid their dues. You know, when you gig, like I was talking to Carla Collins, she's a stand-up comedian.
Okay.
A documentary. She said, you know, like if you want to be a stand-up comic or anything like that, you gotta pay your dues. You gotta get in the trenches, man. You can't just think that you can just go from this medium to that medium. You gotta have to go where the hecklers are, and you're gonna take your lumps, and you're gonna take. So I think there's a lack of that being taught to our new artists. Is it me? Yeah, no, it's not you, JP. You're right, but it's not taught though, because it was a given that. For instance, we had back in the early 70s, late 60s, if you didn't go through Ed Sullivan, that was it. But there was a lot of other artists that went the long route and played all the little side shows or whatever. And everybody remember Ed Sullivan. There was this one show that you could go on
to make it in that time.
That's right.
But since Ed Sullivan, if you were to Google how many variety shows or star shows or this shows that can get you out there, it's just ridiculous.
Yeah, now there's
Okay,
tons.
yeah.
There's
You know,
tons of stuff.
it's just like I was a big hockey fan, you know, back when I just came to Canada, and they had the original 6.
Yeah.
Okay, so if you didn't make it in the original 6, only the prestigious teams could play hockey. Our players could play in a 6-team league.
Yeah.
Now there's like something like 30 teams,
I know. It's,
right?
It's
We grew up knowing all the players on every team.
in every fight.
Yeah. Like I grew up in Toronto. I knew all the players. They had Dave Keon, you know, Ellis, McNabb, Johnny Bowers.
LaFleur.
You know,
Yeah.
we knew all the players, right? They were homies. There was just now, as I said, it's the same with entertainment. You know the musicians. You know the Kenny Rogers, you know the Who's and the Anne Murrays of the world. But now you have a kid, she comes in, she sings one song, she gets a hit, and
Then she's gone.
yep. So
And then she's on a TV series somewhere. But you have no idea. In Japan.
yeah, no. So like we're from the old school because I'm saying it, like myself. I was a big. I grew up watching Michael Jackson and Prince and. Whitney Houston, the Osmond Brothers. Okay, I'm going to be 60 this year because I know I started out as a dancer, and you know I've been blessed. I went through my battle with mental illness, and as I'm sitting here with you, JP, celebrating because this year with Belle, and also my daughter just got married. I'm a grandfather. I'm high, but not the high. Like manic high that I'm gonna, you know, go jump in it. I'm in that kind of, oh wow, amazing. I'm so grateful that I'm still here to enjoy my daughter Mary Elise, my son Jamal, my granddaughter Anik and Malik, and my nuclear family. And the advice that I give, like for people who have had breakdowns. I like to deal with manic because that's what I am. As I said, I'm also doing public speaking, you know, and is that you have to have a routine. You have to have a reason to get up in the morning.
That's right.
And my big 3s are make sure you get a good night's sleep, make sure you eat well. I'm not talking about a little snack, a little bird food and everything like that. You know, you have a hearty meal. 'Cause even when I was growing up, as a kid in school, they always talk about your meat and potatoes or so.
Yeah.
Solid. That's going to hold you. And also exercise. Because right now I'm also still a personal trainer. I have a group that I work out in Montreal called the Yummy Mummies. Hello, ladies. Hi, ladies. My Yummy Mummies in Montreal. And I teach them, you know, 4 or 5 times a week. And I look forward to getting up early in the morning to get to the club to work them out. And so that's what I'm saying. My exercise, having people rely on you and you having obligations, it keeps you going, keeps you youthful. Because I said, I'm very pleased that in December, all being well, I should be 60 years old. And I look darn good.
Damn good.
Yeah, you know, and Prince or Michael didn't get there, and some of these other great artists just because they didn't time out.
Yeah.
Take some downtime, you know.
Time for themselves.
Yeah, go into the woods.
So, what would be your lasting advice then for some artists who feel that they have no purpose sometimes because they're not there yet or they haven't made it? Because you talk about purpose, and purpose is a big issue. Like that's probably the number one reasons why people get depressed is because they feel like, what purpose am I doing? I'm working at McDonald's every single day for the last 10 years. You know, like some people would say, like, what do you say to that? How do you talk to that?
But are you an artist? You see, first you have to defy. It's one thing when somebody has a passion.
Yeah.
They have a love, okay? Because there's nothing wrong with working at McDonald's. There's nothing wrong with having a job. But the job is a means to get to what you really want to do.
Sure enough.
Okay, because I wash dishes, I've cleaned floors, I've short order cook, I've done all sort of things. But inside of me, I wanted to pursue my dance career. And because I was able to do these jobs, and even while I was doing these jobs, I was the best dishwasher, I was the best cook, because I know it's not forever.
That's right.
I was just doing it temporarily to pay to get into my dance program. So it's unfortunate that if somebody is at these, we call them dead-end jobs, but they can't see outside of it.
Yeah.
They don't have as I said, you have to have a passion. You know, as I said, if you're cooking or cleaning or whatever you're doing, is that it? Or if you do want to cook, pursue the cooking as a passion, and go and get your chef and learn to be a chef. Okay, you can start out flipping burgers, and then you realize that you want more out of it, and then you can go on and to culinary school and as I said, make it a love. Because when you cook or you clean or do anything for the love of it, it is so beautiful. And myself right now, I'm lucky to say that I'm dancing and I'm teaching and I'm exchanging information, and I love it.
Yeah.
So it's not work.
So this is a cool question here about purpose. We talked about purpose, and that was great. I want you to speak more about what would be the question you would ask the person, or you should ask, or what should we ask ourselves to find our own purpose in life? Like, what should be like the key element that we should be looking at ourselves to find our own purpose? Because I find that's such a pivotal moment. I know my purpose.
Okay, I hope so.
Yeah, no,
at this point of your life, JC.
Yeah, I know. No, but we're talking like the strangers out there,
okay,
who are listening. And like, what question would you let them ask themselves so they can find their purpose, so they can feel unstuck in the bullshit, you know?
Yeah. Okay. So
From the sticky thing.
about what age are we looking at? Because sometimes when we're younger, for instance, our parents put us into sports, or because dad was a hockey player, he wasn't very good, so he's going to live precariously through his son, whether hockey or baseball or some kind of sport, even music. Because sometimes the parent did not fulfill their dream or goal, so they're going to pass it on to their child. But there comes a time in everybody's life when they have to stop and they have to ask themselves, what do I want? Okay, so how I would literally sit this stranger individual down and ask them, what do you like? Like, what do you like, or what would you want to do in life? Okay, because there's a certain age where it's like a cutoff. Okay, I'm like 40 years old now. I'm not gonna, pitch in the big leagues. Okay, right? Okay, right? Okay. So you wanna? These are questions. Hopefully, you would have kind of come to terms with while you're going through puberty, or by the time you're say 18, 20. That's kind of where you can start working towards it. Yeah. Right. So in the meantime, a lot of people join the army, or they get jobs offshore. There's all kinds of things that they do sometimes to work to what they really want to do. And a lot of people actually discover their passion by mistakes.
Yeah, that's true.
There's a lot of times, I never knew I was so good at this, but they were in just passing, but do as much as you can. Don't just sit down there and wait for it to hit you in the lap. Yeah. Okay? So if it means cleaning the street, or just say working at McDonald's, and McDonald's is one of the best jobs for getting you ready to for business in life. Because when I was here in Toronto, I used to have a job as delivering the newspaper for the Toronto Star, and that was one of the best jobs I ever had, because it forced me to be organized. And I actually look back at the Toronto Star to see where I am in certain parts of my life. Because I had to put the paper together, I was able to use that as a template to put my life back together when things got really out of whack.
It's like skills are never lost.
Yeah.
Like everything that you learn through is an experience to which your goals you want to be at.
Exactly. So that's what I'm saying, is that in the beginning of your life, when you are doing the newspaper, or as I said, you're cleaning or working at a restaurant or washing dishes, it's preparing you for your eventual goals, which you probably, as I said, won't know just off the bat, right? But my question to a random individual is, we'll be having a drink somewhere, so what are you doing with your life? Or what have you decided to do? Sometimes you might have to even come out of a relationship.
Yeah.
Because a lot of time people are in a relationship and they're just an extension of the other person.
That's right.
And they've never had a chance to really go full-time into their own thing.
Like discover their own
thing.
And the other thing I want to ask, just the last thing about faith. Let's talk about faith. I find that people have a lack of faith in themselves as far as what we're doing. Like how do you push someone to get faith more in themselves? Because some people go, I don't feel like so positive today. I don't feel like doing this today. You know what I mean? Or do you find that the reason maybe depression is on the rise because people have lacked faith in themselves, not just in themselves, into anything really? I don't know.
Well, JP, depression is a daily battle. Okay, I'm gonna paint a picture for you. Pretend everybody out there, you're in the military. Okay, you're in the army. You're at the front line.
Yeah.
You don't want to be at the front line. You'd probably want to be anywhere else. Be getting up and with your rifle and going over where bullets are being shot and so forth. But if you don't have the mindset to say, I'm here now, okay, so I can't have time to use any excuses. Well, I don't want to be here. You're dead.
Yeah.
Straight up. So when you're not at the front line in the maybe, as I say, you don't have to be in the army, but use that metaphor every day. You get up, you put on your clothes, as I say, you have your coffee, and you put on your jacket or whatever, and go, I'm on the front line now. And before you have a chance for the depression to hit you, because depression is like a thief in the night or in the morning. Just when you get up, it starts. Yeah. I don't feel like, it starts. I don't feel like getting out of bed. I don't feel like doing, and it go. So that positiveness has to come literally like a fighter, like a knockout blow. Yeah. Pow, get out of here. I got work to do. I got my class waiting for me. I got the ladies waiting for me for class. I got this to do. And, so make sure you have a schedule. Don't go to bed now getting up and saying, what am I going to do today? Yeah. When you go to bed, you already know what you're going to do in the morning. Right. And yes, when you get up, you're going to have those low moments of, I don't want to get up out of bed. It's too cold. It's too this. It's too that. But the sooner you jump out of the bed, as I said, have a shower, some dirty coffee, whatever it takes. Yeah. And myself, when I get up to, I put on a very positive music. One of my favorite is Louis Armstrong. Nice. And What a Wonderful World. Every morning, it's like Groundhog Day. When I get up, I put, and it's a wonderful world, and I start to create.
Create your own.
Yes, you create your own happiness. Your own mood. You got to create it, because if you don't at that point, you're gonna drag it all the way through the day, and you're gonna infect everybody else you see, because everybody, morning JP, what's good about it? I know. Morning JP is the same old shit on another day, and it's like, you just say, yeah, exactly. So as soon as you're able to leave that negative vibe at your home, inside the door, lock him in there. Yeah. It'll probably be there when you get back home, but at least when you are out there, joy. Think Sesame Street, la, la, la. What, Disneyland.
For me, I do my bed every morning.
Oh.
If I don't do my bed, then I feel, no, I got to do my bed. So as soon as I start my bed, it's like one thing's done, and then I got my list of things to do for the day, so I know what I got to do. It's sort of like a kickstart to me.
It is.
Making my bed is like a kickstart for me to say, okay, well, I got this done. So now I can do the rest of the things.
And you will attract positive people. Trust me. If you go outside kind of more like zing, right? You will attract other people. And bonjour, morning, how you doing? Right? I shock people all the time. They're walking their dogs or they're running and I go, bonjour, morning. And they're like, right? Because they're not even used to it. But then the same way, if you're miserable, misery loves company. Yeah. Hey, man, how you doing? You too, man. You remember Charlie Brown? There was that one, That used to, no. There's the one that used to walk around with a cloud around his head.
Oh yeah, that was Dirty or whatever.
Our Pigpen.
No, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, they were
depressed.
Yeah, and Lucy used to be a psychiatrist on call.
Yeah.
She was way back then. They were already giving you little hints. Lucy was charging, I think, 5 cents for speaking to the psychiatrist.
Yeah.
Look back at Peanuts.
Yeah, I remember now.
You'll see it.
I remember.
So there's always these little pick-me-uppers. And when we're kids, what is usually good for kids to get them all pumped up is candy. You know, give them a lot of sugar. Like when we're kids, it's like, how do you feel this morning, right? Here's some cereal, and it's full of sugar. So the kid is wired going to school, okay? Yeah. And now with the adults now, they make coffee with lots of sugar and exactly. So sometimes,
but they're artificial highs, I guess. But
well, it gets you through the day or whatever. Yeah,
that's right.
Yeah,
you have to have your poisons,
Exactly, but those are the little things that you said to get through that moment.
I like the music.
Yeah, the music is definitely.
If you get a really cool music song in the morning.
Yeah.
That's your theme song. Yeah, man.
I even like when you watch. Sometimes you see people driving and in their car, they're jamming because there's traffic jam and they know there's nowhere to go. But they're using that moment to, instead of some other guy who's at road rage because it's like gridlock and he's like, and the other guy's there. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And all of this prepares you because you might have to be going to the dentist or the first person you're going to meet at an appointment. And the fact is, when you get there, depending on what just happened in the morning, the worst thing I hate is when I have an early appointment and the person goes, "You wouldn't believe the morning I've had." I go, "Oh no, I'm not paying you for this. I don't want to hear this." Yeah, because they go the first thing, "Good morning. You wouldn't believe the morning I had. The traffic jam was like this and that." No.
So on the last note, Audley, they say that happy people don't have everything. Happy people make the best of everything.
I like that.
Would you agree to that?
I totally agree to that because people in general are always looking outward for happiness, or as you said, it's greener on the other side. But it's right in front of you. Yeah. You make the best of what you have until you can get what you want.
That's right.
Yeah.
So on that note, where can we get your book?
Well, the book is on Amazon, but you can check me out right now on Facebook. Okay. So I'm at AUDLEY COLEY at gmail.com. Right, and I also have a number, so I every so often I answer my phone because I've actually had to deal with some crisis in a while where people have reached out to me because of Bell Canada, who are dealing with some issues and they didn't understand bipolar, and I just kind of refer them. Okay, I'm not a doctor or medical, or so I just tell my story, and I also have some videos on YouTube, and I have a video that. Actually a small movie, all inspirational, that was at the a film festival in Montreal last year that actually did very well for a short film, and it's called Oddly Inspirational. So you can check that out on YouTube. Nice. And as I said, it's just been a very positive way of taking the manic depressive and channel it into positive. And so I just want to send everybody love and joy into the 2018. And thank you, JP, for making this possible. And congratulations on your endeavors. I just heard about your new successes.